This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the Nerdgasm.
So last week, they just dropped a trailer for the new Mortal Kombat 2 movie that's coming out in October. And I have to say, I was a little skeptical because for somebody who's a huge fan of Mortal Kombat, was not a fan of that first movie. And not because because this is the first Mortal Kombat movie we actually had with violence. Okay? But I was more upset about how they had Cole Quinn and this character named Cole Quinn that had plot armor that was just going in there and was being our eyes and ears for people who were just ignorant to what Mortal Kombat was. Then they gave him these powers and they had a crazy backstory. There was no tournament. There was no Johnny Cage. There was just, it lacked everything. And then we were just throwing these characters in there for the sake of throwing the characters in there, knowing that they have a good backstory to them and you want to see them build up. And I was like, why are we even seeing some of these characters now and that character don't even represent that character? So it bothered me about that. I was like, it was just the sake of doing it, but they had to try to sell Mortal Kombat to a new audience, and it seemed to be working because now we're getting the sequel. But now, after seeing the trailer, it looks like they're taking their time with the sequel, and we're going to get all the stuff that we missed in the first one. So what Warner Bros. Did was they took this trailer featuring Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, who at first I was like, can Carl Urban play Johnny Cage? Here's the thing. Carl Urban's a great actor. I have no problem with Carl Urban as an actor. But as Johnny Cage, and I know there are people out there said The Miz. I was like, The Miz, I don't think would even be a good. He has a Hollywood gimmick that resembles Johnny Cage, but he, to me, is not going to be a good Johnny Cage. And first of all, The Miz is too swole, and it's not going to be agile enough to be Johnny Cage in the first place. And just no. And I see a couple other things like that, but I'm like, that's how I see Johnny Cage. But this Carl Urban Johnny Cage, it's like we're getting the older, washed-up actor version of Johnny Cage. There's been multiple versions of Johnny Cage throughout the games and stuff like that, but this is the one we're going to be getting. So they had to drop the new trailer. I watched it. I reacted to it. That one, and also they had one that they had a parody of Uncaged Fury, which is one of Johnny Cage movies. And they had like the 90s cheese to it and everything like that. I said that was actually pretty dope. I enjoyed that. And when I seen that, I was like, okay, I can probably get on this Carl Urban train of being Johnny Cage. And then when I seen the trailer and seeing that how he was doing, I was like, okay, I'm all on board. Let's see how it's going to be, right? So the good thing is, I'm going to talk about this trailer real quick because there's a lot of things I loved about this trailer. Because Johnny Cage looks like the protagonist for this movie. Like he's the main focus of what they're trying to tell the story, which is basically what the Mortal Kombat story is. This tournament that Shang Tsung usually throws, or that they always have all the realms, and Earth Realm is at the back door. Like they can lose one more tournament. If they lose one more tournament, then all of a sudden Earth Realm will be taken over by Shao Kahn, and that's basically the plot. Because now that's what we're getting in the second movie. It looks like. And we're getting some new characters that we haven't seen in the first one, like, for instance, Shao Kahn, Katana, Jade. Like, we're getting these characters, and of course, Johnny Cage is there. And then also, I was looking through the trailer, and they are as soon as I saw rating, I was like, oh, that is rated for Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat 9. That is the rating with the blue shawl that's going across, that classic look compared to how it looked in the first one. I said, okay, now since it's like we got the fans, we got the people hooked in, now we can give the fan service in this movie. That's how I felt like to me, anyways. So when it starts out, Carl Urban's down on his luck. He's at the bar, and the guy comes in and he talks about, hey, aren't you Johnny Cage? And then your movies were great. At least your movies. He's like, well, them movies, crapped out in the 90s, which basically almost like a play on what's going on with the Mortal Kombat franchise as a whole, because they kind of crapped out in the 90s and martial arts films ain't what they are anymore. Carl Urban reminds me, it looks like they took the Mortal Kombat 11 version of Johnny Cage, which is the older version who, now I'm not saying the stories are the same, but he's like kind of washed up actor, and he's down on his confidence of who he is. Because even when he did the Uncaged Fury, you could tell that outfit that he had is from Mortal Kombat 11. Johnny Cage, when he had the blue jacket and all that, that's where that's from. So I'm glad to see that this is what the version they're going to take, especially with Carl Urban being older, obviously. So they had to be an older Johnny Cage. But Raiden and Sonya Blade come down and let him know about this tournament. And he obviously doesn't believe who they are, but then Raiden shows him who his powers are, which kind of reminds me of that old that Raiden was the one that kind of showed him the lightning in that first Mortal Kombat movie, and Johnny Cage out there spazzing like.
Guy with things coming out of his hand. We got another guy who freezes stuff, and then there's a man who, as far as I can tell, is made out of electricity. I mean, how did he disappear like that? What is going on here? Who is this guy?
Like, that is exactly what I thought about when that happened. Also in the trailer, we get a shot of Katana, and because we got Melina in the first movie, but we didn't get nobody else from Adenia in that one. Now, like, we're getting all the Adenia in here. We're actually probably going to get the Adenia storyline in here because it shows some footage of Shao Kahn, which is believed to be killing King Jared. For those who know anything about the Mortal Kombat lore, King Jared, that's Sindel's husband, who does get killed. Shao Kahn puts a spell on her and makes her worship him and be his wife. And Katana is the daughter of Sindel and King Jared. So, and then Jade is her best friend and her bodyguard. So I like, we're getting that whole Adenia type storyline in this, which I'm happy for, because Melina just came in. I was like, why would Melina be first in the movie? But Melina is very popular, right? But I was like, in order to have Melina, you definitely need Katana because she's the clone of Katana and her sister. So it's like, you would need that. But they kicked it off with Melina first in another movie just to be like a throwaway character. And I was like, whether she comes back and cameo or something like that, I don't know, because there are a couple characters that they showed throughout the trailer that are making a return that had died in the first one. Spoiler alert if you didn't know. But Kano is back. Kung Lao is back. They both were killed. Now, there are, it's not rumors, but Quan Chi is going to be in this movie. We didn't see Quan Chi. We didn't get a shot of him in this trailer. But them coming back could possibly be a way of Quan Chi bringing them back. You know, I'm not necessarily sure, to be completely honest with you, how they'll come back or how they're going to even work this story. But as of right now, from what the trailer is showing, it looks like a fish out of water story with Johnny Cage. And also, just all the other characters they also show, like Baraka. Baraka looks good. Now, I don't know if this is actually Baraka or a Takardan, warrior. But it looks like when I'm talking, like it's just gonna be Baraka. And I was like, that's dope. I like the look of Baraka. Alright, it's the first time that he has a good look on screen, because we had Baraka in Mortal Kombat Annihilation look bad. We had Baraka in the web series look not great. So, now seeing this looks really, really good. Now, in this trailer also, Kano has mentioned that Johnny Cage, does he not have powers? And I can see that it's probably going to be Johnny Cage is going to be taking the Cole Quinn role they did in the first one and this one, and having the powers. But I mean, like Johnny Cage has, the green orb magic, from his ancestry that he can use. And of course, my man got, the shadow kick.
Oh no, I didn't. Shadow kick beats flying kick.
That's one of my favorite moves from Johnny Cage. That shadow kick, when he come out there, when he first debuted at that first movie, I was like, hey, that shadow kick was dope. I was waiting to see the shadow kick. So I'm hoping that they do a really good job at showing the shadow kick. No matter what I've seen it, or the big screen or not, the shadow kick has always looked good. Even in the first Mortal Kombat movie and in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So the shadow kick has looked great. So I want them to do the shadow kick in that one. But then I mentioned Cole Quinn. Louis Tan that plays Cole Quinn. I had no problem with Louis Tan at all. But I hate Cole Quinn. I am not a Cole Quinn guy. And once again, maybe because I'm just so deep into the lore of Mortal Kombat, I was like, he is there to be. It was like Cole Quinn was put on in that movie to show my wife, who knows nothing about Mortal Kombat other than the games and knows a couple characters just to play. He was put on there to be like, hey, this means this is what happens when. That's what Cole Quinn was there for. And then I was like, why? And then he's the one that beat Goro? Bro, don't even get me started. No, I wasn't with that. I wasn't with that at all. But I'm just saying, he's there, and it would not surprise me if they just get rid of their losses and he bites the bullet at least early or halfway through the movie. It's Mortal Kombat, people will die. And I think Cole Quinn is going to bite the bullet. And guess what? I won't miss him at all. Louis Tan, like I said, is a great martial artist and it's a fine actor. But Cole Quinn, the character, get rid of him. I didn't want him in the first one. Get rid of him. I don't even know what his role is going to be. And we got Johnny Cage that looks like going to be the protagonist, and you still got Luke Kane there who's going to be Earthrealm's greatest champion. There's no room for Cole Quinn. There isn't. So get rid of him. Jax and Sonya are back, and once again, looks like I'm still upset that we don't have the Special Forces storyline between Jax and Sonya. So that's a little disappointing, but great to see Jax and Sonya back. How long Jax gonna be in the movie, I don't necessarily know neither. But I'm just like, but I'm glad I want to be in it longer. But one of the cool things we've seen also with the different characters and different like tributes to different stages in the trailer. Also, we see Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion return in the movie, and it looks like he's going to have a fight with Bi-Han. And for those who know Mortal Kombat, know that when Sub-Zero dies in the first one, who comes next? Noob Saibot. And that's why Quan Chi gonna be in the movie. And I'm like, it looks like we're going to get a fight between Scorpion and Noob Saibot. Now, here's the thing. They show part of the fight in the trailer. And it shows Scorpion pulling out Noob's shadow and cutting it in half. Everybody's like, is that going to be the Noob Saibot? Absolutely not. And if they decide to make that the end of Noob Saibot and make that the end of the fight, and they put that in the trailer, shame on Warner Brothers for doing that. Okay, shame on them for doing that. But it's a shadow, and I'm like, I feel as though that's not the end of it. But it's to show you that Noob Saibot is here. So I'm just saying, I am excited to see that version of it and see what they're going to do with Noob Saibot on the screen, because the original Noob Saibot we got Mortal Kombat Annihilation was ass. Okay, complete ass. So I'm like, I want to see something better with it. Now, Shao Kahn looks to be the antagonist for this, and I think he has a very intimidating look. I like the look that Shao Kahn has in here. Looks to be a badass. He looks like he kills King Jarrett, and this ain't gonna be the only person he's going to kill. So, and it looks like that they are going to have. He gonna give him a long day, and that's the kind of Shao Kahn I like. And I don't know who's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna give him. They're gonna put Johnny Cage in the forefront and have him defeat Shao Kahn, so he gets to defeat Goro, or are they gonna do Liu Kang, who's Earthrealm's champion? And right now they're just kind of giving him in the background because they wanted to really sell the movie on the Carl Urban Johnny Cage. Maybe in the next trailer they will show more Liu Kang. So who knows, right? But that's how it's looking. Mortal Kombat 2. Is looking kind of good, okay? And this is just me saying this for somebody who did not like the first one. So, it's looking kind of good. I'm actually going to be quite excited about it to check this thing out. It comes out in October. October will be here before you know it. So, when it does come out, I plan on reviewing it and doing a spoiler here on the podcast. You guys also, on the podcast, I got other, the first one review, so you guys should watch that in the trailer. I put that in the YouTube version of everything. But right now, that Mortal Kombat trailer, it's looking fire. Carl Urban is looking pretty good, and I'm liking the fan shows that they're giving to it. So it's theirs to fuck up, and I hope they don't do it. I really hope this is way better than the first one. Is it going to be like the Grace movie? Like, is it going to be like my top movie of 2025? No, but I do want it to be in one of my best movies of 2025. It has that potential for a Mortal Kombat fan like myself. So once again, and they need to come out the hit, because for my two favorite fighting game franchises, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, we already see who's lined up for the Street Fighter movie. So right now, you got to come out swinging with this Mortal Kombat movie. You got to come out doing it well. So I hope everything runs well, but it should though, because that trailer, it gave me promise.